Well, what's up everybody and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the 2025 Honda CR-V. This is a hybrid all-wheel drive Sport L finished in Canyon River Blue. MSRP is $40,000. Big shout out to Flo Honda of Statesville for providing this crossover for today's video. Take a look at their website, linked down below. Underneath the hood of the newest 2025 Honda CR-V, you're going to find the 2-liter inline 4-cylinder hybrid engine. It has net horsepower at 204, net torque is 247, paired to a continuous variable transmission and all-wheel drive. Curb weight is around 3,900 pounds, and then running on a 14-gallon fuel tank. You can expect 40 miles per gallon in the city with 34 out on the highway. The overall length is 184.8 inches with a wheelbase at 106.3. Width is 73.5 and height is 66.5 inches. Moving on to the exterior styling with the 2025 Honda CR-V, it's a pretty sporty looking compact crossover. I like all the gloss black accents throughout it. You're going to see a blacked out design for the LED headlights. They have a really nice look with daytime running lights. You can also see the gloss black for the upper grille, Honda logo right in the center, and pretty large openings to provide cooling to the engine. Down below you're going to see more plastic and black. You can also see active grille shutters down below in the lower portion of the grille. More parking sensors and trim pieces, nice sharp line on the far side with forward-facing parking sensors. This has a pretty good look overall. Definitely looks like a Honda, but very edgy, so it certainly looks like a sporty crossover. You got a pretty smooth hood overall with some sharp body lines on the far side, just to really add to the sporty style with the new CR-V. And then at the side profile, you got a nice set of gloss black wheels, 18-inch diameter, multi-spoke look. A little bit of that plastic material for the front fender surround and a sharp body line, and then more of that plastic for the lower rocker panel. Got a set of body colored door handles and mirror caps, prominent sharp body line throughout the entire side profile, and a little bit of chrome trim throughout these windows with black for the B and C pillar. Side profile looks about what you would expect for a smaller crossover. Nice profile overall with good proportions, sharp lines cutting in the back, and you can see how the taillights make their way all the way up to the integrated spoiler. They have a pretty nice look to them. I like the design, has a pretty aggressive look overall. Got the all-wheel drive badge and Honda logo, CR-V hybrid, and then down below some silver and plastic trim, more rear-facing parking sensors, and then you can see your exhaust tips. Got a fake one on the left, the real one is over on the right, and overall the lines come together very nicely. Taking a look at the key fob, you get lock, unlock, remote start, and the power liftgate. Locking the vehicle, you can just grab the door handle. It'll automatically unlock and we can take a look at the interior. Got a nice black leather interior with a dark color for all the stitching. On the door panel you have this soft touch material, some silver trim, and then you can see memory seating and all of your controls. Got some padding for the armrests, kind of a bronze color I'd say for the stitching. Storage down below, and then all power controls for the seats. I like the combination of the smooth leather, the color contrast stitching, and perforated leather all throughout the centers. So pretty nice looking seat, pretty comfortable as well, large headrest, and a sporty 3-spoke steering wheel with silver trim and contrast stitching. And then now inside the 2025 Honda CR-V, keep my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and fire it up. Engine may not always turn on given it is a hybrid. Got your Honda badge in the center, Bluetooth and audio controls over on the left side. You also have a home icon as well. You can configure some of the screen with that. You have some cruise control settings over on the far right side. And then taking a look at the center gauge cluster, you got a nice screen on the left, speedometer on the right side, and if I go ahead and scroll through, you can see all sorts of different information that's going to pop up. You can hit the OK button to enter into it. You do have to back out every time to see what is in each screen. A few more items you can scroll through, going and do some settings within the car, safety, maintenance, and then some nice displays as well. So pretty cool overall. You can see on the left side we do have a set of steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. These are actually going to adjust the regenerative braking. You also have your turn signal stalk on the left with headlights, windshield wipers on the right, traction control and trunk release, one of your air vents with just some plastic trim, just some soft touch material across the dash, more of that. I do like how the air vents have this cool mesh connecting them and that same trim piece the doors had. So it gives it a nice sporty look. The infotainment screen, pretty basic as all Hondas are going to be. So you can see all these tiles right here with all your basic information. Nice touchscreen overall. We do have physical buttons over on this left side, a few shortcuts down below. And if I go ahead, put it in reverse, you can see that backup camera, top down for all the parking sensors, and you can adjust that view just a little bit. Climate controls are down below. We have your temperature, you can easily adjust that. Fan speed in the center, different zones, defrost, heated seats as well. And then you have plugs down below with storage and your wireless phone charging. Nice shifter design, and then our drive modes. So if we toggle this, you can go into a few different ones, snow mode as well, which is a good touch to see. And then we have the park and brake, a little bit of storage and cup holders down below, and more padding on the armrest. Popping that, we got a nice little amount of storage space and a pretty good sized glove box on the far right side. One last look at the interior. The 2025 CR-V, not a bad interior, pretty well appointed, not too crazy on pricing, nice contrast. And then a black headliner with the manual sunshade. We can also open this up for a sunglass holder, all those controls, and a thin mirror. Taking a look at the rear seat space, so I grab the door handle and open it up. Door panel's finished off similar to the front. You're gonna see more of a plastic material rather than soft touch. You do get the padding on the armrest and the trim, and then all the same seating surfaces with the smooth and perforated leather. Contrast stitching as well. The seats will recline. You can see the far one is straight up. We are gonna get a nice armrest with cup holders, climate vents in the center, along with extra plugs, and then storage on that side. For the seats, there's a lever back here we can pull, and these are gonna fold down nice and flat to gain extra cargo space into the rear end. And then with them up, you can also grab this and push this way back for a nice recline. Hopping into the back seat with the Honda CR-V. So at 5'11", this is actually a pretty roomy car. These seats are really comfortable. They're nice and padded. There's a lot of squish to the base, and they honestly support my legs really well. With the driver's seat at my height, I got good knee room and foot room, good amount of headroom, got decent amenities, armrest is quite nice, and they recline really far. This is kind of in the middle position. Honestly, for a family crossover that isn't that big, this seems to be pretty well done for the back seats. Taking a look at all the cargo space in this, we can just press the button. Underneath the Honda logo, you're gonna get that power operation. Back here, you got a pretty decent amount of space. It's nice and flat. There's a little bit of a cubby on the far right side and the left. We have an inflator kit sitting behind there. And then from back here, you are able to reach, if your arms are long enough, right here, and we can get these seats to fold down. So you do have to do this all manually. With them down, you can see just how much more storage you're gonna get. Kind of got a small hump into that area, but nonetheless, pretty practical car. You got a handle as well as your button up here. And then if we take one last look, they're gonna fold down nice and flat and maximize this cargo space to be a pretty practical vehicle. All right, setting off in the CR-V in sport mode. You feel a nice bit of the electric power in the low RPM, and the CVT is pretty smooth, honestly. It kind of shifts as if it were a real transmission. So it's pretty smooth drivetrain. You hear a little bit of the engine revving up, so it's not the quietest, but not really a bad sound or anything like that. Putting it into normal mode, of course, it gets a little bit less touchy, but this is a really comfortable car, actually. These seats are really padded. I fit so well. Honestly, I would love to do a cross-country trip in this. I just feel really comfortable in the seat. Great amount of padding. Really good room up here in the first row, too. Visibility's all really good. Mirrors all do what you would expect. Over your right and left shoulder, no crazy blind spots or anything like that. It's a pretty good, like, average car to drive. Just kind of normal, what you would want. Now, with the paddle shifters, that will adjust the regen braking. So all the way to the right, it kind of coasts like a typical car. And then every notch to the left, you may or may not be able to see the green indicator down there. That kind of shows you how much regen it'll do. So now with my foot off the throttle, it's slowing us down a decent amount. So you got a couple different settings for that, which is nice. You know, I like having it do that just a little bit, help recharge the battery system. But it's pretty integrated. The hybrid system, you know, Honda's been doing this for decades. They are not new and not a stranger to a hybrid. And they've seemed to do a pretty good job to make the engine and electrics work pretty seamless. You don't really hear or feel the engine kicking on, honestly. I'd say it's one of the better systems out there. If we slow down, the brakes all work great, especially with the regen, and then giving it some throttle. Nice and peppy. Yeah, you genuinely don't feel engine or EV. It's just a smooth power delivery with good instant torque down below. It's not crazy fast, but it's peppy enough to just get up to speed like any typical car. Ergonomics are all nice. It's really easy to use this car. You know, Honda is simple. They like making simple cars for the average buyer. And when you're in this, there's really no learning curve. It's easy to get used to the climate. I love how it's integrated right here. No silly screen stuff like a lot of luxury cars. And then even the screen itself, just super easy to use, easy to see. And I like how while driving, the tiles are big enough to where if your hand's shaking a little bit, you can still punch anything you need to. So overall, seems like a solid family crossover without going crazy in price. You feel a little bit of the bumps. I mean, I can hear the road noise just a little bit on this bumpy road, but it's nothing annoying, I would say. So pretty solid foundation of a car. I'd say it's a pretty average car, however, very efficient, very roomy, very comfortable, which would be some of the things I like the most about it from the driver's perspective. Just seems like a solid crossover to get. You really couldn't complain with, just racking up the miles, and it drives really nice. So setting off in my perspective, slow speed driving, you can tell that it's in pure EV mode. Once you get going a little bit quicker, the engine will kick in, but it's so seamless. That is something that I really, really like. I've been in a lot of modern hybrids now. A lot of cars are going hybrid, which honestly I think is a really good thing. You get fantastic economical aspects, really good gas mileage, but you don't have to rely on plugging it in. So honestly, these conventional hybrids are, I think, the future. I think this is the best, most sustainable way to have an automobile. It just seems to be really good. And not only for the good gas mileage aspect, you get a better driving experience. Normally a basic 4-cylinder and a crossover is a little sluggish, not exactly my taste, but the EV in these cars gives it that little instant torque to get it up to speed a little bit better. So I think that's a big plus with modern hybrids now. And like I said, Honda knows how to do it. Slowly getting up to speed again. It's just smooth and seamless. That's 30 miles an hour, and I'm just barely touching the throttle. So I think this is a car that kind of anybody could buy and enjoy. And the fact that it's not the biggest crossover out there. I mean, the CR-V has been a pretty popular vehicle in the US for decades now. It's not that big, so it's easy to park. It'll fit in your garage, it'll fit in any parking space. And yet when you're in this, the footprint on the interior is impressively large. It's very roomy. I mean, at 5'11", I have so much space. Much larger and taller people than me will fit in here perfectly fine, and equally much shorter people will also fit perfectly fine. So I think this is a crossover that would literally appeal to anybody. Anybody looking for a crossover, this could probably do the job. If you're looking for just a nice normal vehicle without breaking the bank, something that's going to be kind to your wallet and easy to own long term, I think this seems like a pretty solid choice. Not really any major downfalls. I mean, a car like this, I mean, it's on the average side, I would say. There's nothing mind-blowing about it that's going to blow your socks off. However, it kind of gives you what you want. It gives you an affordable car with everything you need, the creature comforts, and styled pretty nicely inside and out too. The drive modes definitely do make a little bit of a difference. A little bit more peppy and sport, a little more conservative and normal, and then eco mode, of course, is going to do the best to be as economical as possible. So not really much else to talk about. I mean, it's a simple car. I do appreciate the fact that Honda is keeping things simple these days. Physical climate controls, I think, go a long way. I'm with a lot of you guys who hate the touchscreens that have everything in the screen and nothing else. I think it's a little dumb. So this keeps it easy, keeps it simple. It's old school feeling, but also it still feels like a pretty nice normal new car. So that is it for the 2025 Honda CR-V. Honestly, can't complain. A good solid choice to get. Nearly fully loaded for 40 grand. Can't really argue with that pricing either. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for plenty more content. Big shout out to Flo Honda of Statesville for providing this car for today's video. Take a look at their website, linked down below, and I'll see you all in the next video.